Before the video begins, I want to make a quick announcement. My good friend Reed, also known as RadAustin27, is selling these awesome zombie posters down in the description. If you want to check them out, a link is down below. Be sure, though, to use the coupon code JJ25. A link is down below. What's going on, YouTube? My name is John, and today I'm coming to you from Shi No Numa in World at War. And it might seem strange, but the reason we're at Shi No Numa is to discuss Tag Der Toten and Call of the Dead and try to explain why Tag Der Toten is set in Call of the Dead. Now, it seems random. Why, of all maps, Call of the Dead has it been chosen to be the finale to Treyarch's grand story, their magnum opus that they have been crafting for 10 years now? All of it comes to a close on Call of the Dead. Like, what? It makes no sense. But it actually, when you dig into the story, it starts to make sense. From a non-storyline perspective, you might look at it and say, well, I guess it's the last Black Ops map to be remastered. It's kind of random, but by process of elimination, it has to be Call of the Dead, I guess? I mean, that's if you want to look at it from a non-storyline perspective. But once you dig into the story, and you actually go look at one of the oldest Easter eggs we have in Zombies, set here on Shi No Numa, which is the map, I'll remind you, that really kicked off the story. Sure, we had a semblance of a story in Verrückt and Tag Der Toten. I guess retroactively had a story, but it's really Shi No Numa that kicked off the story, and there's one little Easter egg tucked away outside the map that actually gives us a clue as to why Call of the Dead might be a really important site in the storyline and an excellent place to wrap things up. It makes a lot of sense. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get away from these zombies so they don't attack us, and then we are going to go enter the command line. So I'm going to hit the tilde key right now, and I'm going to enter no clip, and then I'll escape the tilde key right there. You know, I'll actually also throw on God mode right now too while we're at it. So we'll get out of here, and then we're going to fly up. So this is Call of the Dead. We're going to enter one of these little huts here. Which one is it? I think it's this one. So should be, oops, nope, I apologize. We're in the wrong hut. I've recorded this now 3 times now, and I keep going into the wrong hut. It should be this one right here. Yep, so we'll exit out of no clip right here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the oldest Easter eggs we've ever had in Zombies. You'll notice this is outside the map. This is where the zombies spawn in, so we're on the other side of the zombie window right here. This little Easter egg, Tunguska, written on the walls, one of the first storyline Easter eggs we ever got, is actually really important as to why Call of the Dead is the final Ether map. Allow me to explain. So Tunguska, written on the walls, is a reference to the Tunguska event, which happened June 30th, 1908. This was a large explosion which occurred near the Podkamennaya Tunguska River in Russia, which is located over Siberia. The explosion flattened over 2,000 square kilometers of forest, and it was caused by an airburst from a meteor, which this is when a meteor explodes mid-air rather than falls right into the surface. Now, this becomes relevant when you start to read the Zombies timeline. The timeline states that a meteor containing element 115 crashes near the stony Tunguska River. And this is actually the first instance of element 115 in our Zombies universe. This is the inciting incident to everything. That's what's being referenced on the walls in Shi No Numa. What it's essentially suggesting is that that meteor that crashed into the Earth was actually a meteor of element 115 in the Tunguska event. That goes all the way back to World at War Shi No Numa over a decade ago, what they were suggesting. And that meteor that we see in Shi No Numa is some of the meteor most likely from the Tunguska event. Now, the reason it crashed into Earth was because of the Apothicons. The Apothicons send element 115 across many different dimensions in hopes of creating portals that would allow them to travel to other dimensions and then consume them. We see this actually being done in Revelations. So, with Call of the Dead being based in Siberia and the Tunguska event being in Siberia as well, it would only make sense that we travel to the original source of element 115 in our storyline, which would be Call of the Dead. Now, what we do at the original source of 115 is simple. we purge it from existence. Maxis explains this to us in his radio on Alpha Omega.
Edward, work! Oh, that is much better. Everything is so complicated now, Edward. Remember when the world was a simple place? No time travel, no multiverses, no paradoxes, no existential crises. It is the ether, Edward. Once it touches something, that thing is forever corrupted. It cannot be undone. Do you not see, Edward? Dr. Monty never planned on fixing anything. He could only start over. Well, he could fix it, but the cost of this would be too great, even to him. We were doomed the moment Element 115 came to Earth. The only way to prevent all of this, the only way to halt the unraveling of space and time, which, need I remind you, we are both directly and indirectly responsible for, would be to purge Element 115 from existence before it ever encountered humanity. How one would do this, how that would even be possible, I do not know. Dr. Monty must know this is the only true way to fix everything. Yet he chooses not to do this. There must be a reason. I will find out why.
It's funny. That radio came out 2-3 months ago, something like that, and it was a pretty clear indication of where we were going next. Now, I don't know if we kind of ignored this because the community isn't what it used to be and people aren't theorizing like they used to, or maybe it's because Call of the Dead has been rumored for a while, so we just always kind of assumed it in the back of our heads and didn't really even need to do much digging. You know, something like that. But anyway, this is pretty clear and obvious where we're going next. Maxis says it. We need to go to when humanity first encountered Element 115 and destroy it. And, well, that means we need to go to the Tunguska event. We need to go to Call of the Dead. Most likely, the reason Call of the Dead was ever even set up in Siberia was because it was near the original source of Element 115. It was right there, so they could do work on it, and they don't need to transport it large distances. And then maybe later they carried some of it over to Shi No Numa when they were doing work there, and also maybe just bits of it dispersed around the Earth, and it's been in different concentrated pockets, because if you can imagine, when the meteor blew up in the air, it didn't just go to one spot. It most likely went to many different spots, and some of it maybe traveled great distances, something like that. Either way, the whole reason we are going to Call of the Dead is to find the original source of Element 115 and destroy it before it ever encounters humanity. Now, I'm not sure what it takes to destroy Element 115. That's something that hasn't really been explored too much in the storyline. Maybe through Anti-115, which is something that Reed has been theorizing about for years now. Maybe, perhaps it has something to do with the VR-11. You'll notice that the VR-11 has the potential to take zombies who are animated by Element 115 and turn them back to normal. Maybe we go to Call of the Dead, use the VR-11 or the technology behind the VR-11, find the original Tunguska meteor fragments, and destroy them using that weapon. It could be something like that. It could be interesting. Either way, that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the zombie storyline will most likely be ending at Call of the Dead. It's not as random as you might think, and sure, Call of the Dead isn't as iconic as a map as, say, Der or Shi No Numa, and it's not as famous in the world of zombies lore like the Ether or Argatha, and it's not the fabled London map, and it's not the house. It's plain old Call of the Dead with George Romero, fog rolling in, and a lighthouse, and it's going to be the end of the Ether storyline because it's technically where it all began. That's going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. I'm always covering zombies content, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. Have a wonderful day, and bye.